Hi everyone, it's Lavinia and welcome. In today's video, we are going to be drawing a Zentangle, and this one is called Diaray. I think it comes from Diamonds and Rays, and this is from CZT Barbara Duell Johnson. So I've already sketched it out here in my bullet journal, and it's actually a fragment. So what that means is that this portion here, this little square here, that is actually the Zentangle, and then I've drawn it out in four different ways. I thought, so I tried doing it maybe this way. You can draw all of them that way. You can just draw the one segment. You can embellish it different ways. For example, I have it here where I embellish the centers in different ways. And this kind of reminds me of a poinsettia. I say poinsettia. I know it's spelled poinsettia, but it kind of reminds me of poinsettia with one of the petals folded forward. So let's go ahead, break this down. I'm going to be using my drawing journal. This is the gray toned paper. I have my Artist Loft ink pens. I think I'm going to use probably the 0.5 to do the original, or to map it out, and then maybe the finer lines, these lines on the inside, I might use the 0.1 or the 0.3. I have a Zentangle pencil here. I got this from a kit and I really hardly ever use it, but I thought I would use it in this. For this Zentangle, I'm going to take out my white charcoal pencil since I'm using the gray tone paper, and I have my double-sided tortillon. So let's go ahead and break this down. I am going to be doing the 4 segments, and I'm going to be doing the diamond shapes all going in a corner this way. Of course, you can do it opposite ways. You can draw it this way if you'd like to also, and then embellish further, but I'm going to go ahead and sketch it out this way. So let's come a little bit closer, break this down, and we'll get started. Okay, so for the first thing, what I'm going to do is divide this in half. So I might use my pencil first just to get an idea. Probably here. Might be 2. So this here might be the halfway point there. All right, gonna grab my pen, my ink pen. So this is the 0.5. That might be a little bit off center, so I'm going to or that one. And I think this one here to me seemed to be more centered. So I'm going to use that line to draw down. I'm going to grab my eraser and just erase those other pencil marks. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now draw this diamond shape here in the middle. And the way that I'm going to do that is from each of these corners, at least this is the easiest way for me. I'm just going to draw from these corners. So because I want my diamond shape to point out this way. So depending which way that you want it. So if you wanted to do it this way, you can also follow along, and those points would come out from the side. However, I'm going to somewhat almost meet there like that. And then I'm going to create that diamond shape. So from this point, I'm going to come here. And create that diamond shape like that. So we have that first main diamond. Now the next thing we're going to do is just create, so just tilting this because it's just a little bit easier for me to see. So from this point, just going to come here and put in 2 additional lines and then do the same thing here. So we're creating those rays. And then if you remember mirth, where these little edges, where these connect here to the diamond, just going to give it a little bit of rounding to sort of like hook onto that. That's how I envision it. Just a little bit of rounding. Here as well, we're just forming that little triangle. So there we have that. And I just wanted to show you what we drew back in October. So it's just rounding with that little triangle, those little areas there. And then going to do the same thing, whoops, on this side here. So from this point, and I can start adding that little triangle right now, that rounding. Maybe thicken up these lines. And I'm still using the 0.5. I was thinking of going to the 0.1, but this one seems to be working out fine. And then just adding that one there and that one there. And rounding that off. And I'm also going to do that. So I'm going to come across and then just round that. And I'm going to round that just a little bit further to make it seem like it's a petal. And I'm going to do that here as well. And then this point here. Oops. So there we have that first one. And then if you wanted to add embellishments, you can go ahead and do that. So going to do the same thing here. So this time, this midpoint is going to come from here. Let's see, let me just make sure. Yep. And then I'm going to create that diamond shape or that marquee shape. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and continue on. I'm just going to pause for a moment and continue with that. Okay, so from this point, just going to draw 2 rays that way. And let's go ahead, we can do that rounding right here. Maybe bringing that over and rounding this corner. Same thing here. Round that out. And if this is too flat, you can always come back and just thicken that line so that it gives it more of a petal shape. So we have that one, and now we're going to do it for this one. Going to round that one off. And sometimes I like to come from the top here and then round it that way, just to do something a little bit different. And then just step back, take a look at it. Maybe I will thicken this line and round it off a little bit more. And this might be nice as a border going across. All right, now for this one, we are going to have this line come out from those corners, creating that diamond shape, that marquee shape. Then from the outer corners is where we're adding those rays. I didn't really look into the background of how it was named, but I can see where maybe diamond and rays could be that's possibly how the name came about. So rounding this, creating those little triangles. This is that center line, so I'm just going to round out that. A little bit more difficult with this spine here, with this wire. All right, it's coming along. Okay, and now this one, we are going to come in from this inner corner, like that. And if you wanted to experiment, maybe instead of putting 2 lines, maybe just putting the 1 and see how that turns out. That might be something that I might try out later on as I think about that. That needs to be a little bit more rounded for me. Okay. And you can see my triangles. Some are larger than others. That's okay, it's an organic shape. Really pretty. Okay, so last side. Kind of like letterish, where you don't have the points. You're just rounding everything. And here we go, folks. Okay, and then we could add that triangle kind of like we had in here, or maybe we could do something different. I think I'm going to do something different. I'm going to add an orb in there. I actually like that. If you watch my other videos, you know I like to draw orbs. This here, maybe the center we can darken up a little bit. And just take a look and see if there's anything else. I think I'm going to round that a little bit further. And I just wanted to come back here just to show you, again, other options that you could do. I am going to take now my graphite pencil. So let's see how this Zentangle one performs. I think maybe I might shade around the orb. and maybe here, where all these petals come together. Don't miss this one. Sometimes when I'm done with the videos and I finish up my Zentangles, I realize sometimes I forget to either blend or put other graphite. I think I'm also going to come around the edges. And again, you can always use an eraser if you feel that you've put too much or you don't like where it's at. I'm going to do that there. I think I'm also going to put some where these petals are, or where these diamond shapes start. All right, let's take the tortillon, the blender, and just start blending, and we'll see what turns up. So I'm just going around, and now here, just going to blend this in. I'm going to go around the edges. Go around that edge and bring that up. I think I'll bring that further on up with the graphite that I have left over. There's a closer look at that. I'm going to grab the white charcoal and give these little orbs a highlight. I think I'm also going to add a little bit of highlight. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. These areas. Ooh, one of my favorite songs. All right, we've got our white tortillon tip on this side. Just going to blend that in. I could always add the white gel pen as well. But we'll take a look first and see what this looks like. I think I'm going to bring that white up a little bit further. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my white gel pens. All right, this is the Jelly Roll 05 Sakura, which Lori June from Sarcastica 60 something, she showed us how to make a Rukas Zentangle. And I think I'm just going to add, let's see, maybe just a little bit. Just for some additional texture. Maybe you can even put a little bit, maybe I might use my 10 for that one, or my 8, just for inside the center of the flower. Okay, and so this one is called Diaray. And today is 11/30/25. So I hope you give this one a try as well. I'm not sure if I will add this to the string or not, to the string page, but it is a really pretty Zentangle. Again, hope you give it a try. Let me know in the comments section if you do. You can always post to my community page if you have a YouTube account, and you can share that with my subbies. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. I will see you in the next one. Bye.